Oh, welcome back. It is me. It is the Cyber Warrior. This is CyberWarriorStudios, and I know what you're all here for. You're all here for another amazing episode of Security Happy Hour. And yes, as gorgeous as his face is and as epic as his beard is, I know it isn't me you're here to see necessarily. But I need you to be quiet for one quick second. Just shh. Yes, that is the sound of Security Happy Hour kicking off, and we have an amazing guest with us today. So if you bear with me for all of, I don't know, about 10 seconds, because that's what it takes, I promise we'll be right back with our amazing guest. And we're back. I told you it was like 10 seconds. We weren't going to be gone long. Jeez, man. If you left already, you're slacking. Look, anyways, hey, check it out. I have with me this evening, it is Freya's Day, and it's all about showing love to the community. And in this community, we have people that are trying to make a name for themselves because they're just breaking in. And with me this evening, I have none other than Akira Young, who I connected with a couple weeks back, maybe about a month or so ago now. It's been a little while. And she has been utterly amazing. I've been seeing what she's doing. Akira, how you doing this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic. It's Freya's Day and it's Security Happy Hour, and I've got a Broken Skull double IPA, so you know it's a great day.
What is that, an energy drink?
No. This is definitely a strong beer, not a German beer. That would be a hell of a lot stronger. This is strictly the American version of what they try to do in Germany.
Okay.
But no, so I'm here for it. So I got to ask, before we get started talking about all the different career fields in cybersecurity, because there are a lot of them. Actually, not career fields, all the different jobs within the cybersecurity career field. I got to ask, what got you interested in cybersecurity, and where has your journey brought you to this point so far?
Honestly, it was a YouTube ad. It was a YouTube
I think
ad.
that's the first time I've ever heard that.
Yep, I remember it was a YouTube ad from someone named Boyd Cluis. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but it was him talking about what is it, ISA and QSA, talking about cybersecurity, GRC, and I was like, what is that? Never heard of it. And I actually subscribed to his YouTube channel and I watched a lot of his videos, and I said, you know what, that sounds really interesting. Something I've never heard of before. And I started, just doing Google searches and getting on LinkedIn. At the time, I was doing a boot camp for sales engineering. And there were some people in that boot camp that was interested in cyber as well. So I kind of reached out to them. We were talking like, hey, have you ever heard of GRC or, auditing, cybersecurity auditing? And it was like, no, I've never heard of GRC. So it's just, I've just been connecting with people on LinkedIn that had like GRC. Anybody that came up with GRC, I was connecting with them. So I kind of did my own research from there. And I was like, okay, this is what I want to do.
And I love that because GRC. So not many people know about GRC when they're first introduced to cyber. Their first introduction to cybersecurity is, I want to break into shit. I want to do the sexy job and be a hacker, which hacking is a mindset. Oh, it bothers me when people say that, but it's a mindset. It is an
Mhm.
attitude. It's, you're learning, you're doing a bunch of different things. So knowing that you kind of did your research first and were like, I like this GRC thing. This is what I'm going
Mhm.
to go for. So you found your path before ever asking anybody, how do I break into cyber?
Right.
Fucking what part, homie? I don't know. Um, so the fact that you did that is amazing because it's still to this day something I get questions about. I'm sure Miss Tarver gets questions about. I'm sure Andrea and Alana and so many others. That's always the first question. How do I break
Mhm.
into cyber? What part?
What Yep.
And so the fact that you did that research is amazing. And look, I got to put this out there. So I have a lot of amazing people in the chat right now. Holy jeez, I got people I've never seen before. So real quick, I want to do a few shout outs. We've
I
got
can't even see
Alana.
the chat.
There, well, most of it actually, like all of them are on YouTube today, which is amazing. So if you want to
Okay.
just pull up a YouTube and mute it, you're fine.
Yeah.
Um, it's utterly amazing because um, I've got some new warriors in the chat today. We've got Octavius Williams. I've never seen him in chat before. Thanks for joining us. But then we've got my normal warriors here, which I love and adore. We got Mary Baker, Carrie Chiazon, Andrea, Alana, and Alana loves GRC. So she's here for the GRC conversation for sure.
Mhm.
She actually was just on, if you didn't catch it, she was just on an Infosec Live episode talking GRC. So
I did. I seen the
go.
replay.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you
Mhm.
haven't caught the replay of Alana doing uh GRC live on Infosec Live's channel after this show or this
Mhm.
weekend, go check it out. You're not allowed to change channels right now. It's forbidden, okay? You're not allowed. Ness Hacks is in the house, James Driscoll, so many people. So we got Andrea, hi Akira. She loves you.
Hi.
But we all love Andrea too. Alana, woohoo, Akira, Bill, hey everyone. Bill's another one coming through doing big things. Bill, I'm still waiting for you to fill out the form and get on the show, homie. Let's see. Octavius. Octavius, I never met you, dude, but we need to link up. You need to get on the show also if you're here. All my warriors get on this show. That's how we do things around here. So saying all that though, and
Mhm.
seriously, thank you everybody who's in chat right now. I truly appreciate it. YouTube is where it's at. That tends to be where everybody's at. Bill, if you did the
Mhm.
form, then I'm gonna have to go look because you're not next week. So I don't know when you're at. I'll look, Bill. Don't look, don't do it again. I'll look. God, wait till I look.
If you see me looking down, I'm just reading the comments from my phone.
You're good. Look, you'll see me like stare off into space at my screen when I'm looking at things trying to figure it out. So it's all good. Um, Cybersecurity is a career field. It is a very, very broad career field. There's a
Mhm.
lot of different jobs. And I actually had a conversation with one of my coworkers about it today because finally, now that I'm a manager, I get to influence a lot of, the decisions and things like that. And so, being in that position, I asked him a question. I said, so what do you want to specialize in? And he's too much like me. So he didn't have an answer. Um, which isn't bad.
Mhm.
For some people, it's very hard to specialize. So, in your eyes, beyond GRC, what are some of the other jobs that you found in cybersecurity that kind of had, a path that may have interested you if you didn't find GRC?
Actually, it was Natalie that told me about this one,
It
SOC
was
analyst.
Natalie Baker, huh?
Yes, thank you so much for connecting me with her. I've been meeting with her weekly, so I met with her this week and last week, and we're gonna skip next week because she's busy. But we've been locked in.
That's awesome. Natalie's
Yeah,
good people. I love her. She's another one of my warriors. She's family. And that's
she
and
is
that's one of those things.
awesome. She has been such a great help to me, and just me kind of writing down and getting the idea of like where to start first instead of like there's so much information out here and sometimes you can get and I did in the beginning I did kind of get caught up when I'm like okay there's hacking, do I need to learn hacking for GRC? No, like but there I was having people tell me different things, so it was nice to speak to somebody that's in GRC that was like no, this is what you need to do, focus on X, Y, and Z, get your skills up. And she kind of told me to look into SOC analyst. She was like if you can find a SOC analyst role, and I've seen SOC analysts, and I had
Mm-hmm.
no idea what it was. She was like, just to get your foot in the door and get some experience. So shout out to Natalie for that one. So I've added that to the list too.
Yeah, excuse me. Natalie's great people. I've had her on the show twice now, I think twice, and she's absolutely amazing. And
Mhm.
one of the things about her that she brings to the table is, yes, she's in GRC, but has that technical expertise too on the back end
Mhm.
from understanding the different positions, because she came up through that SOC analyst and then
Mhm.
SOC manager and then into GRC. So, in GRC, yes, governance, risk, compliance. Compliance does not equal security. And I put that on a lot when Alana was doing her stream with Simon. I actually put that in the chat because compliance is huge. We need to be compliant, but you need to go beyond compliance. And that is where your GRC and your blue team need to actually talk more, because it within the blue team. So you're looking at you're looking at your SOC analysts, your engineers, your threat intel and threat management and all this other stuff. Within that field, they can go to compliance and say, hey, how do we get this to be more secure and not just rely on compliance, and use that
Yeah.
GRC? And this is what people don't realize. You can actually use your GRC team to be more secure. Like, why don't you work together? And it's funny because the GRC team would love, from what I've seen, the GRC team would love to work with more technical minded folks. But for some reason, I've seen so many technicians that are like, I don't need them.
Mm.
Just like I've seen so many people in security not want to talk to the help desk or the system administrators or the network administrators, that they become siloed. And it's
Mm.
just like, you need to work together. Alana says it right here. Compliance is a minimum threshold. You need to assess the org's risk profile and drive security from the risk tolerance perspective. Thank you. Because it is all about risk profile and risk tolerance. If you don't understand risk, you will never be able to be good at GRC. Um,
Mm.
Risk is key. So key. Um, but yeah, so in finding the right path for you,
Mhm.
you ended up doing a lot of research, because I remember now you came to me and said you wanted to do GRC, and I was like, I got the perfect person for you. And
Yep.
I kid you not, within seconds I hit up Natalie and I was like, yo, Natalie, you need to talk to Akira. And she was like, because she was doing a lot. And
Mhm.
I was like, if you have it on your, have time available to mentor someone, I got someone that's interested in GRC. And so the fact that you two have been talking so much, kudos to Natalie. She's amazing. I do. I love her to death. She's been doing great things, and helping you out has been even better.
Yes, you've
Um,
been
but
amazing.
that's what this community is all about. When I build warriors, I build warriors. I build fighters. I build people that are going to communicate, that are fighting together to for a better cause. So
Mhm.
I love that. Now, with the SOC analyst side, and again, this is blue team, folks. Again, a different job. This is not GRC. This is SOC analyst and blue team. A million different jobs in the cybersecurity career field. Have you done much research into the SOC analyst side of things yet?
No. She literally just told what's today, Friday? She just told me that yesterday. We speak on Thursdays.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that, I know she'll help you out a lot. Again, she comes from that type of background before she got into GRC. If you need any other assistance between myself, who um, because of how long I was in the field, by the time I got out of the Army, I went straight to being an engineer. So
Okay.
I understood the threat hunting side and the analyst side. So if you need a little bit of help, I'm there for you. Andrea, Alana, everybody will be there for you. Feel free, if you have any questions, reach out to anybody.
I
because it is a
definitely
very,
will.
very critical role
Okay.
that people take for granted. That analyst is so key. The problem with it is you get fatigued. You if things aren't configured right, you get alert fatigue, and you're just looking
Okay.
at it going, "Oh, this is a false positive. Oh, I'm gonna send this out. Oh, I'm gonna do this." Like it's so you have to have that analytical mind and be able to really have a passion to looking for it.
Mhm.
For you, your passion is more GRC. This is just going to you have to look at it as a stepping stone of
Mhm.
like, okay, I'm going to do this, understand more of like what risks organizations face so that when I get into this GRC role, I can speak a little bit to the technical.
Okay.
And so I get it, you may not want to be an analyst, but take advantage of it. Because
Yes.
to me, I look at it like help desk. A
Mhm.
lot of people hate help desk, but that gives you that experience coming up in sysadmin network when you want to be technical,
Mhm.
starting at the bottom, work your way up.
Yeah, and I think that's what Natalie said too, because she was like, this day and age is a little different. She said when she was coming up, she actually had to start from, like help, like a lot of people help desk, everything. And I was like, whew, I'm kind of glad don't have to start from that now.
Yeah, yeah. And so yeah, there's ways around it now. As
Mhm.
long as you can get that education,
Yeah.
that foundational knowledge, and that's where like KevTech comes into play. KevTech finally got his first security role at Sentinel One this year, but he was help desk and support for years and put out a ton of videos on, setting up labs and things like that. And that helped him get into his first security role because
Mhm.
he understood operating systems and printers and, you know, how all this stuff talked together. And so when you're looking at from an analyst perspective, all these different logs, it makes sense that like you need to be able to, understand the operating systems and the foundations.
Right.
And so even if you're not going to work help desk, I always recommend going to Kev Tech Support's YouTube channel, looking out at his foundational knowledge that he teaches people because it is absolutely
Okay.
amazing what he puts out there.
I'll write that down.
Now, since this is about the entire cybersecurity industry and fields, what turns you off from the red team from the offensive side?
I am just like I like technical stuff. I do. I'm a person that likes to know a little bit about a lot of things,
Hmm.
but I cannot see me doing that all day, every day. It just does not it does not interest me. I feel like my head would explode if I was doing it just because I wanted to, see what it was like one day, cool. But all day, every day, I think I would lose my mind.
Yeah, and
Can't
so
do it.
I think for you because with how hard you've pushed with Natalie and doing these other things, I think at the very least doing something like Hack the Box or Try Hack Me to kind of gain
Mhm,
that foundational knowledge
mhm,
would be huge.
mhm,
And not because you're going to do it every day, but because then, like even now, as when I was a consultant at my last company, I worked with the GRC people because they couldn't, as good as they were, and they were fantastic. They couldn't always speak to the technical side of things of what needed to be implemented and how. And
right,
that's where the blue team and my perspective of also being a red teamer kind of came into play. And so having that understanding and that knowledge can do nothing but benefit you in your career.
I agree.
So you like me who kind of wants to know a little bit of everything about everything. And again, as we were talking about, I have a one of my the people that works for me. I said, "Hey, what do you want to specialize in?" He goes, "I don't know." And it's because he's like me. It's like I want to know everything about everything about
Mhm,
everything. And you quickly realize you can't do that, but you try your damnedest. You're like, I'm gonna read this book, and then 20 pages in are like, oh, that's cool. Let me pick up this book.
mhm,
30 pages in, you're like, oh, I really like that idea. Let's pick up this
mhm.
book.
That is totally me. I am guilty. I am so
I've got a
guilty.
I've got a bookshelf full of books, that I'd never finish because I
Mhm.
always do that. And that's just like when I look at GRC, you know, I look at it from a perspective of there's all these different frameworks out there. There's all these, my buddy said that's called ADHD. Shut up. I know. But I have, you know, there's all these different frameworks and stuff. I despise PCI DSS. And it's not so much the um, PCI DSS itself, it's the
Mhm.
auditors that come in because they make friends with the companies and then you never get truly audited. It's, hey, do you have firewall logs? Yeah, okay, you're good. Hey, do you log all this? Yeah, okay, you're good. So the problem is not
Really?
necessarily, oh, you will see as you get into it. And this is what I recommend to a lot of GRC people is get a different auditor every year. Because if you have the same one, they make friends with the ownership, they make friends with the people that are there. So eventually they just take your word for it. They're just
Mm.
like, oh, you have this? Yep. All right, cool. You're good. You have this? Yep. Okay, cool. You're good. And so you may have it in a
Mhm.
minimalistic fashion. So if they ask, you could technically pass compliance. But the reality of it is, it's just you're doing the very bare minimum for compliance. And I have seen way too many organizations that legitimately have a shit CRM and
Mhm.
asset management and everything else that when an auditor comes in, they're like, hey, can I see this? And it has been put in like that week that they knew the auditor was coming. They were like, holy shit, we got to get caught up. Let me
Okay.
do all this. And so that's where GRC comes into play because they can keep companies honest. And if you switch auditors like every year, every other year, they can't become friends with ownership.
Mhm.
So they can't just pass you because they felt like, oh, you're a friend. I got you, homie. It's okay.
Mhm. I
And
never
yes, you'll
thought of
see that a
that.
lot.
I didn't know people do that. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not going to say where I've seen that, but let's just say I've seen it. And I wanted to strangle somebody when I saw it because I
Oh.
was trying to fix things and the auditors didn't
Mhm.
back me up because, you know, they're friends.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. So let's talk about this though. Let's all right, look, for everybody who is in chat, please ask any questions you want about different cyber career fields. Akira, who has done her research, and myself, who has been in just about every career field, please do me a favor, throw your questions in chat. We will answer them the best that we can. Because you know what? The way I see it these days is every guest is a co-host. You feel free to chime in and shut me the fuck up anytime you want. so so I look at it now, Akira. What do you know about red? Like on the red team side, so on the offensive side, in your research, how many jobs did you see out there?
For
Like types of jobs, not actual job descriptions, but types of jobs.
types of jobs for the red team,
Hmm.
I've seen a lot. I feel like I've seen a lot, a decent amount. Ways you can support the channel. Purchase awesome merch.
So the red team, for those that don't know, you have a variety of jobs you can go through.
Mhm.
There is exploit developer. There's true red teamer.
Mhm.
We call it the red team, but the reality of it is it's offensive security. So
Mhm.
anything offensive falls into that line. Social engineer, Corgi. You ever want to learn social engineering? Fucking connect with Corgi on Twitter. That I will actually have to, Akira. I will send you a link
Mhm.
to her website. She's absolutely fantastic. I had her on the show a while back. Absolutely phenomenal with social engineering. Um, you got pen tester. You've got
Mhm.
mal exploit development.
That's the one I've seen a lot,
Um,
pen tester.
yep. You've got You've got bug bounty hunters. A lot of blue teamers will do bug bounties too. But
Bug bounty.
that's more on not necessarily for a job. It's more of a hobby of I need to make extra cash, so I'm going to go out and do bug bounties.
What is that?
Um, so what a bug bounty is there's things called like Hacker One,
Mhm.
and there's a few others out there. I can't remember them all. And companies will go out there and say, hey, we have an open bug bounty. So right now, Hack the Pentagon is going on. And so you go to their websites and stuff, and they'll give you a scope of what you're allowed and not allowed to do, what you're allowed to hit, what you're not allowed to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And you have free reign to go after and be like, can I use SQL injection? Can I do a lot of it's more web-based. They don't necessarily get it. Bug crowd. That's it, James. Thanks, man. It's more web-based and things like that. So they don't really get into the network side of things. It's, can you break into our website and do something malicious or enter our backend? AppSec is another one. You'll see a lot of applications like Google and things like that. Like, hey, can you hack our mobile apps to maybe get access to somebody else's account to be able to do these things? And so you'll see a lot of 0 days, and there's a release. There's an ethical release structure around it of you cannot announce this to the public that you found this exploit until after so many days. And they have like 60 to 90 days to get it fixed. After that timeline, then you can post your write-up and whatever else you did. So bug bounties are huge for people that are trying to make side money. And some people make a career out of it. They're just that damn good that they
Never heard of
make a career out of it. So that's more red team side. It's all offensive. Anything that has to do with breaking into or developing offensive tools and security is all red team. Your blue team kind of gets into your I still consider anybody that configures ACLs and firewall security as part of the blue team. So you've got your network security, you've got your security analysts, your security engineers, your threat intel people, your threat hunters, those that do reverse engineering malware. So those that are trying to find the fixes, like how malware reacts, and they do the write-ups and things like that on how to prevent it. So they come out with IOCs and POCs and things like that. You got a few others. And then you've got GRC. And GRC, as you know, there's so many different frameworks. There's CMMC. I don't know. CMMC is not really a framework. It's an actual compliance thing. But you have, NIST. I'm just going to rattle off shit that has to do with GRC. NIST, CMMC, PCI DSS, SOC 2, High Trust, and there's a ton of others out there. The one thing about CMMC 2.0, which a lot of people don't realize for some reason yet, is it's closely related to the NIST framework. So if you know NIST, you know CMMC 2.0. It's just different verbiage. You can actually link a lot of them together. And Alana can either tell me I'm wrong or tell me I'm right, but she'll probably tell me I'm right. So we've got a few questions here that we're going to hit. So let me star these because a few comments, a few questions. Malware analysts. That's it. AR. That's blue team. Your malware analysts are blue team. That's Grem, baby. Reverse engineering malware all day. That is actually what taught me how to tell stories with malware and what it would do. So if we look at it, Griffin, why you got to come with this? What questions do you ask during an interview when looking for the right job?
It's a good question.
Can you clarify that a little bit? Because Akira, how do you see this question? The way the question's worded, how would you answer this? Are you from someone looking for a job, from their perspective, what questions would you ask a company? That's what I'm gonna take it until he clarifies.
See, I wasn't sure if he meant like for just GRC specific. Like, what is? I think I would need.
So you need clarification. All right, yeah. So we'll come back to that. I'm gonna keep that one started. We'll come back to that one. Alana coming in. Would love to hear what you're doing now and what's next for you, Akira.
Hi, Alana. So now I am actually doing his name just missed my brain. I think his name is Gerald. Natalie told me he has Natalie and a few others actually.
Gerald Auger.
Yes.
GRC Masterclass.
Yes, the Masterclass. Yes. So I have his masterclass, and within the next week, I plan on actually finishing that. It's 7 hours, and I've heard really good things about it. So actually my job contract actually just ended. So like now I have all the time for studying, and I'm really going in with beefing up my skills and learning.
That's awesome. And I've got some.
Definitely.
I'm gonna have to see what GRC people I know besides Natalie, because I'm gonna find
Mhm.
someone that's hiring, and I love getting GRC people hired because they're so important.
Yes, so that's what's next for me. Just learning now that I have the extra time and not working. I'm always a student. So learning. And Gerald has been on my list because actually before I even got in contact with Natalie, I've heard a few others throw his name out there. So I said,
I
okay,
think his name has been mentioned like 8 times on this show alone, if
really?
not more. We say him, Kev Tech, and I think there's one more that usually gets mentioned almost every episode. Like if GRC comes up, Gerald Auger
Gerald.
comes up. Kev Tech comes up just about every episode because
Mhm.
his shit's amazing. And I want to say there's one more. I can't think of it right now, but it'll probably come to me later. But it usually someone in the industry will mention like 2 or 3 different people that we talk about, and Gerald's a big
Mhm.
one for GRC.
Yes, I've heard his name like 20 times.
I believe it.
Yeah. Well, this time is
So
now, Alana.
let's see. Oh, we got another one from Alana. Not necessarily a question. You can do private, invite certain ethical hackers, or public, open to anyone. It's also a platform where they there's points per report, disclosure, and money for finding severe vulnerabilities. In regards to bug bounties, that's what it
Mhm.
is. So HackerOne,
Okay.
Bug Crowd, there's a few others. They have private invitation ones when your points are high enough, people will invite you privately to do your own bug bounties, and then they also have completely open ones. Um, let's see. AR, what's he got for me? Infinite improbability AI. I hate the fact that he freaking changed his name. There are exceptions, but men tend to have hard skills and women tend to have soft skills. What is more valuable for women in cybersecurity? What about as you get higher up the food chain? Akira, go ahead.
Mm. Hmm. What is more valuable for women in cybersecurity?
Besides, look, I'm gonna say besides the ability to stand your ground, because we all know people are assholes. So beyond that, what else would you say?
I would say what would be valuable to me, and this is just from what I've been hearing from other people when it comes to women in cyber, is just kind of people don't respect women in cybersecurity. I've heard so many people say that, and I don't like I said, I'm not in cyber, but
Mm-hmm.
I've had a conversation with someone in my inbox before, and she said, "Hey, I know you're looking to get into GRC. I just kind of want to warn you, when you're looking for these jobs, and there's a lot of men in this field, not a lot of women, and you know, she went through a lot in her field in
Yeah.
cybersecurity, and she said respect is one of the things she just really had to fight for."
Yep.
And
I can agree with that, and I will say this, and I've had this conversation with other people. So you're not wrong. You have to stand your ground.
mhm,
I think we've come a long way. So I think a lot of people that have been in it for 5, 10, 15 years,
mhm,
especially people that have been in it like 10, 15, 20 years,
mhm,
um, I think it was worse for them. So that's still rubbing off on people. And they're still like, hey, we have a lot to do, which we do. We have a lot to do in this industry to recognize everybody and realize we all have, value to cybersecurity. Don't get me wrong.
mhm,
But I think we have come a long way. And I have been a part of so many organizations where it's not a problem, where it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter
mhm,
what you look like. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It's your knowledge. It's what's in your head. It's what you bring to the table. But I've only been a part of so many. So are
mhm,
there shitty organizations and shitty people out there? Yeah. But this is where I say, find the culture and the people that fit you. Quit going into places and being like, oh, they treat me like shit. Then why'd you work there in the first place? You would have seen that during the interview. Mm-hmm. You take enough of this brain power away from these companies and they're going to fall. They're going to see they have to make a change. If you go there, it's only a detriment to your mental health. So if you go work for a place and go work for people that you know are going to treat you like shit. And I'll be honest, I grew up with 3 older sisters, my mother, and now I've got a wife. They see when I'm screwed up, which means I know a lot of other women out there see when people, they read the writing on the wall and they're kind of like, this dude's an asshole. I don't want to talk to him. Red flag. And so if you go to an interview and you don't see that right away, then I put that more on the situation of like, are you blind or did you just want the job because you needed a job? Because now you're trying to change a company or change a culture, which I respect, but you could have went somewhere that's actually going to appreciate you, that's actually going to take you and understand that I have something to offer. Mm-hmm. And I tell that to everybody. We all have something to offer. If a company isn't going to respect you, bounce. See you later. Deuces. Don't even worry about it. Don't try changing them. Don't try changing minds. Just bounce. Because then they'll feel the heat when they can't maintain their security, when they can't maintain their compliance. You lost one of your best people, homie. It's on you. You treated them like shit. We're so hell-bent on trying to change companies that are multi-million-dollar companies. Screw it. Go work for someone that's going to appreciate you for you. Quit trying to change idiots. They're idiots. And at this point, let's be honest, they're so old and outdated that they don't fucking care. They're not going to change. Mm-hmm. Go do you. Go somewhere where you're appreciated. I'd appreciate you. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, I get people all the time, like, we've seen them on the show. 100% of the people on the show, I'd probably fucking hire if I had a slot and I could hire all 100 and some of them and be like, yo, let's go. Let's go. Because they're willing to put in the work. They have the passion and the drive for it. Mm-hmm. Who the fuck cares what you look like? Who the fuck cares what you believe? I don't care. Like, these people that get behind it, for a woman in cybersecurity, stand on your own 2 goddamn feet and be like, look, I'm here. This is what I can do. Fuck you if you don't appreciate me.
Just like that.
That, like, I've had bosses literally tell companies, fuck you and get fired. Like, they didn't care. Guess what? You're going to do what I need and what I want, or I'm out. Mm-hmm. And literally told them to fuck off. So women need to stand up for themselves. And you want more money? Ask for it. Go for it. Mm-hmm. That's part of the problem is people are so like, oh, we get paid less. Are you asking for more? Mm-hmm. Do you know your worth? Do you know what your value is? Because I'll be the first one to tell you what your value is. And it's a hell of a lot more than you're probably putting on yourself. I've said that to a lot of people. I talked about an old project manager the other day. And I was like, are you asking for like $130, $140? No. Why not? Why aren't you? Because you deserve it. You do more work than half the fucking people I know that used to work there. Ask for it. If they say no, find another job. Go get what you're worth. Like, why not get paid your value? Right. Why not stand up for yourself and know your worth? And I got to be honest, that's why I love Stacey Champagne and Hacker in Heels, because she teaches women to know their worth and be like, look, I deserve this. I deserve just as much as anybody else out here. And you're going to pay me or I'm going to walk. That's all there is to it. Pay me or I walk. So, higher up the food chain, more valuable for women. Actually, I think women have an advantage higher up the food chain. I ain't even gonna lie.
You think so? Why?
They're more empathetic. They're able to tap into that emotional side of them. That this is me. Again, it's a generalization, so don't fucking judge me and get on my case. But as a generalization, men are taught to pull back on their emotions. They're taught to emotions don't matter. Everything's logical. Everything's this, that, and that third. But as you get higher up the food chain, you have to have that empathy for your employees. You have to have that empathy for the company. You have to be able to think both logically and emotionally. Now, you don't react emotionally, but you kind of weigh the balance. And I think women, especially with just knowing my wife and the rest of the women that I've known in my life, having that balance has done more for them, and they've been able to put up with so much bullshit from the men in their lives that I'm gonna be honest, we're a bunch of assholes, and they're able to deal with it and be like, you know what, I know you're just being a prick today, so I'm gonna go over here, I'm gonna do what needs to be done, I'm gonna come back to you, and then we'll see how you're dealing. All right, fine, be that way. So I think women have an advantage higher up the food chain, which is why I do think that as directors, as managers, as leaders, as executives and on the board, where we see now all these layoffs because people are getting greedy, I think women would have more empathy for that situation as opposed to more greed for that situation. And again, it's a generalization. It's not all people. I mean, just look at how the world is right now. But I do think that in general, women would have more empathy for their employees than men do. Because we're taught to suck it up and move on. But let's see. All right, Carrie. I can't get to your Carrie. I'll answer your question later. I want to get to more stuff for Akira because Akira's the guest, not me. Let's see. Oh, Alana did come on in with this. I'd argue that higher up in the food chain, it's all relationships. Not wrong. Definitely not wrong. Let's see. I believe CMMC is more typical for a company wanting to do business with federal government. True. Since I'm fully in the private sector now, I'm more ISO, PCI, and CSA realm. She's not wrong. So where do you want to be, Akira? Federal government realm or private sector?
I think private sector.
Good. I ain't gonna put on blast why I say that, but we're just gonna say good. Who doesn't get nerd checked from time to time? I do a lot. Holy crap, there were so many things. Oh, okay. So Griffin did chime in on his question he asked earlier. As the interviewee, do you have questions that you ask the interviewer to help determine if it's the right job for you? Remember, it's about what you want as much as the company interviewing you. That's actually a good question, Akira. So go ahead. As you start going into the interview process, do you have a set of questions that you would ask a company that you're looking to work for?
Few of the things I ask them is like, what does the job entail? Like, what is a day in the life of whatever position I'm applying for? What does that look like? And it give me a rundown of what it looks like. Because a lot of times it's more than what you see on the job description. And especially me coming from the banking and mortgage field, definitely can say that. Because what they had on the job description was not what I was even doing. So complete opposite.
You were the underwriter, weren't you? You were the asshole that kept telling me no.
So that's one of the important ones for me that I like to ask. Like, what is a day in the life of, X, Y, and Z? What does that look like? What am I doing from day to day? So that's one of the things that I ask.
Yeah.
And then the culture, like, how is it like with the team? Does everybody? What are you about to say?
No. You're not wrong. I would advise you of something going forward, though.
Okay.
because I have found that people, when they're looking for help, will lie
Mhm.
about culture, right? They'll lie about, oh, what's it like day to day. So
Yeah.
my advice to anybody looking for work is connect with the people on that team on LinkedIn. So
Mhm.
if you can get names and things like that, and then just ask to have a phone
And
call
ask
and
them.
just be like,
Mhm.
hey, look, I applied here, I did all this stuff. I'd really like to know, because, or you could even do it during the interview, be like, hey, can we set up one-on-ones with like the team or with different people? Um, and that way you can usually, as long as the employees aren't on with their bosses or directors or whatever, a lot of times you'll get a more true, a more factual opinion of how things are. Whereas when the boss is there, oh yeah, everything's great. It's a great company. We have all these benefits. We do all these things. And then when you get in there, you realize I don't like any of these people, and the benefits suck. Like, too late. You already started, so now you got to go find another job before you leave this
Mhm.
job. So, talking to people one on one, it's one thing to have a good corporate culture. It's a whole nother thing to get along with your team. And so having those conversations and really getting to know people is vital. And if you can do that before you get into an
Mhm.
organization, when they give you that offer, that will be where you sit there and say, okay, I've talked to all the team members. I really like them. I think we clicked. We can get along. All right, I'll accept or ask for more money, or whatever the case may be. I'll go forward and try to keep going with this company. But if you are just talking in these, 1, 2, 3 interviews, then you don't really get a taste of what the team is like, and the people you're going to be working with. You'll probably have a one-on-one with your boss,
Mhm.
hopefully, I would think, but the rest of the team, you might not click, and you might be miserable because, yeah, you get along great with your boss, but now you hate everybody you work with. Well, not hate, but dislike, and
Mhm.
and don't really want to be there. So you have to be able to talk to them. And I advise any company you're looking into, look up their employees on LinkedIn and start talking to them. Literally,
It's a good tip.
before I started working where I was at now, um, I had already talked to a few people just because I was like, I know I might take a new job. Let me go talk to some people and see what it's like. Not necessarily for the company, but because I wanted to see how they interacted with me as a person.
Mhm.
And that's how I found out that these people are awesome. Like, I love talking to them, and this is going to be great for me. And then I come here, and I got people that I'd never talked to before that it's still a perfect fit. We still get along, we still talk. So things like that are vital when you're looking at different organizations. I preach talk to the security managers and the directors, because you really need to build that rapport so they'll hire you. But talking to those lower on the totem pole that don't really have a say in the hiring, but have a say in how you're going to feel about your job.
I agree. I like that. One thing I can definitely say is I definitely slept on LinkedIn before I started to become. I've had LinkedIn for about some years, but I never used it until I got in the boot camp that I was in. And I was like, wow, like I didn't know that, I didn't know anything about LinkedIn, or like how you can just, like you said, just reach out to people and how like
Mhm.
find them and talk to them. Like I didn't know, I missed out on all that. So that's actually
Yep.
something Natalie said yesterday too. So
Yeah, and that's why I love everything that like Andrea's been doing, because people get on
mhm.
Andrea's case. She's like, "Why are you posting these jobs or doing this, that, and the third?" It's like, because I care about the community and helping others, and that is what I found about LinkedIn. If you connect with the right crowd,
Mhm.
so yourself, Akira, and Natalie, and Andrea, and Alana, and Brad, and so many others, LinkedIn is not. Yes, it has toxic people. All social media does. You're going to come across these
Mhm.
assholes that you never want to deal with. But guess what? That just means when you're looking at jobs and you look at this person, you're like, I ain't going to go work where you work. I'm going to go find somewhere else. That's the beauty of LinkedIn. Whereas Twitter, you don't necessarily know where people work. With Facebook, you don't know where people work. With LinkedIn, these people are putting it on their profile. You
Mhm.
can legitimately look and be like, do I want to apply to this company? Let me see who works there. Oh, I know this person. Fuck no. I'm out. See ya. Like, I don't want to touch that, because if they're employed there, that means it's not going to be a good environment for me.
Yeah.
So you can kind of take that approach, and that is the beauty of LinkedIn. And I say, don't block people on LinkedIn unless they're scammers or salespeople that are just pitching shit to you in their very first message. Like, they don't even say
Mhm.
hi. They're just like, hey, we have all this great shit. And you're like, the fuck does that have to do with me? Hey, we got a help desk role for you. Homie, I've been past help desk for the past 10 years. I don't know what you want.
Mhm.
So you block them, but everybody else, you don't block people you disagree with. I know a lot of people like to do that, but you don't. You use them that way. When that company comes up and you're like, oh, they got a role. Who works here? Oh, no. I don't want to work anywhere near that guy, because if this company employs him, it means they probably got a toxic culture that I don't want to be a part of. And that's kind of how you have to look at it. And that's also how you choose your career path. What career path that you want to go into has the most toxic fucking culture, like, for the career you want to go into? And do you want to put up with people that you may have to go to war with and be like, no, bitch, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Sit the fuck down. Let's be honest. Meryl Vernon has done that on many of occasions of being like, homie, I run this shit. Shut up. Sit down and shut up. I got you. Like, so you got to pick your battles.
Yeah.
Do you want to go to war with people that you know you're going to have to put in their place? Or do you want to sit there and be like, you know what? I really like policy. I think I could be good at this. For those that want to go red team, be ready for war, because you're going to have to shut some people up and be like, look, sit down, shut up. I know more than you. Just saying.
Blue team me, please.
And now, shh, we're back. Hold on. Shh. There it is. Now it's the Yingling. I'm out of my Stone Cold beer, so I had to go to you. That was the only one I had. I drank the rest yesterday, so I was kind of like, I'll save that one for when the show starts. But yeah, other than that, so what about the different career fields do you enjoy? Like, in cybersecurity as a whole, what about it gives you that drive?
Cybersecurity as a whole. Well, for one, like what made me interested in cybersecurity to begin with, other than the fact that I saw a great ad on YouTube, is the fact that I love technology. It's not going anywhere, right? So when you think about, we need security, we need to secure that. Like, how I actually have a lot of stuff on my phone that probably shouldn't be there. And
Why'd you go quiet? You were good, and then you went quiet. Where'd you go? No, I lost you. I don't know what happened. I lost her. I lost your mic, Akira. Wait, I think you're back. No, I hear something, but not you. Are you talking quiet?
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what
God, you.
happened.
I
My
had you on
internet went
solo
out.
layout. I was about to let you talk for a half hour, and then all of a sudden I was like, where'd the sound go?
I don't know. That was weird. You can
It's all
hear me
good. So
now.
look, I'm gonna let you. Yeah, I hear you. So I'm gonna let you go for a little bit. I'm gonna put you on solo. You explain to these people why you love cybersecurity.
Well, like I was saying, I love technology as a whole. And actually, not only the ad, it was also my best friend who's like very, we joke around, say like she's a little tech nerd. And for years, she's just always been talking about cybersecurity, this cybersecurity, that. So I kind of feel like it was like in the back of my brain. And then when I saw that ad, and then I kind of been doing my own research, I'm like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know if I can put it into words. I really do feel like this is a career field that I could go into and be happy and actually enjoy what I do. Because that was also a big thing for me working in the mortgage company and banking field. I kind of didn't enjoy what I was doing. And the more I learn about this industry, the more people I connect with from this industry in the community around this industry just makes me feel that more connected to it. Like I said, I really feel like this is something that I could do and do for a long time and really enjoy it and continue to learn. I love being in places or in a field where the learning does not stop. I said before, I'm always a student. And I feel like there's so much to learn in cybersecurity, and you can never be bored. That I'm somebody that needs to kind of switch it up every now and then. And I just kind of feel like there's so many avenues I can go in within cybersecurity that I can always be learning. I can always be evolving. So
That's awesome. And that is the biggest thing. And that's one of those things, so many people here have talked about learning, and Alana had to wake up Natalie. Natalie, you're gonna have to go back to the beginning because we talked you up quite a bit this episode. So FYI, if you don't watch this from the beginning later on, me and you were fighting, girl. Just letting
Natalie, hi.
But yeah, that is the biggest thing about this career field as a whole, regardless of what job or what path you choose, because there's so many. And that is one of the biggest things about me. Everybody has their own path, their own journey, their own way into how they live their life and how they get into this career field specifically. And there's so many different ways into it that, I look at it as you're always going to be learning.
Mm-hmm.
This is why anybody that goes, I'm a cybersecurity expert, I laugh at them and no longer interact with them. Because to call yourself a cybersecurity expert, you're either Sheldon from the Big Bang Theory that has an eidetic memory and can remember everything and every little thing and know everything about cybersecurity and every exploit and every reverse engineering, or you're a liar. Because you could be a professional in cybersecurity. You can know GRC. Policies still change all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Compliance changes all the time. Regulations change all the time. Or you could be a professional in blue team and do, reverse engineering malware. You want to tell me you're an expert at reverse engineering malware? I can get behind that. It's more of a niche. I can understand that. You want to tell me you're an expert in exploit development? I can get behind that because, it's more niche down. But to sit here and say you're a cybersecurity expert, no. Nope. I'm done with you. I want nothing to do with you because it doesn't exist. There's no way to know that much, again, unless you have an eidetic memory and you can sit here, write an exploit, reverse engineer malware, plus set up a SIM and do GRC and do all this other stuff. If you can't do all of that better than the professionals that are in that specific space, you are not an expert. It does not exist. I'm a generalist. I will stand by that. I love all parts of security, and I'm a generalist, and that's how I've worked my way up in consulting and doing what I do because I can learn anything.
Mm-hmm.
Will I ever be an expert at anything? Probably not. But will I know enough that I can get companies on the right path and get them going the right way? For sure. But will I be an expert? Fuck no. My brain don't work that way because I'm gonna get sidetracked at least 15 times in learning it.
That's me.
After you, oh wait, we got another one from Alana. After you finish Jerry's masterclass, Stuart Wedge, the policy wizard, has a pay what you can policy foundations course. That is amazing.
Thank you,
all
Alana.
Those in GRC. Alana, do me a favor. If you can't drop a link in chat, send it to me. And I'll get it either in the description of this or I'll post it on LinkedIn eventually or tag me in a post on LinkedIn. We'll make sure people know.
I would definitely look into that.
You should hear John Strand's opinion on malware reverse engineering. I probably should because reverse engineering malware is actually pretty fun. let's see. I just spent 2 hours talking to a young man that wants to get cybersecurity, and I'm pretty sure I just scratched the surface of what he should hear at this time. Probably because it's vast. It's so broad. And I tell people when GRC, the green team, that's another one. All right. I tell people all the time when they want to get into cybersecurity, it's just such a vast career field. Do you want to break into things? Do you want to defend things? Or do you want to work more in the policy side? That's really the gist of the different avenues you can go. Because if you want to break into things, whether it's physical pen testing and being like Corgi, who can break into buildings and social engineer people physically. I mean, she does it as far as like phishing emails and stuff like that too. But, you've got the red team side, the offensive side that has so many different avenues. You got the blue team side. Can you configure a firewall? Can you set up EDR? Can you do XDR? Can you do MDR? Can you do any of these different things? Can you configure a SIM? Do you understand log correlation? Do you understand why, if you've got someone banging on the door here, but you got data exfil going over there, can you pay attention to the fact that you got data being exfiltrated before the ransomware hits? Like all these different things, people need to understand. And then with GRC, do you want to go work in retail and do more PCI DSS work? Because even in GRC, it's some of those policies, some of the governance behind it and the regulations, just knowing one of the regulations is like a month's worth of reading because you're going to fall asleep. You may really want to do it, but I'm sorry. The text is so bland and the shit they say you're going to read and you're going to be like, oh my God, this is so boring. Like, I really want to make companies compliant, but this text is written to the dumbest standard ever. And so being able to do all that and get through those is going to take time and truly master that regulation. And so when you go somewhere, you're not sitting there going, hold up, let me look it up. Oh yeah, that's section 4.1.1 and it says this. Like, no, you're going to go somewhere and know it, because to speak to GRC, you should really know what you're talking about when you go to these places. And so, it's one of those things that you have to understand these different avenues. If you don't know the different avenues, then NIST pubs are great sleeping materials. They really are. NIST publications are ridiculous. Anything that comes out from the government is ridiculous. If it says national or government or federal in its title, you're going to fall asleep reading it, even if it's 2 pages. It's going to happen. But yeah, so, you have to understand that cybersecurity is a career field. That's like someone saying, I want to be a doctor. Doctor of what? Like, what part of being a doctor do you want to be? Do you want to be a neurosurgeon? Do you want to be someone that does diagnostic medicine? Do you want to be a pediatrician? Do you want to be an OBGYN? Do you want to be, what do you want to be as a doctor? Same concept. Do you, in cybersecurity, do you want to be, where in the blue team do you want to fall? Where in the red team do you want to fall? Where in GRC, like, do you really want to excel? So many different avenues that don't go to a mentor and be like, how do I break into cybersecurity? Homie, where? And that's why I love you, Akira, because you came to me and you were like, hey, I want to do GRC. Bet. I got you. Natalie, can you talk to Akira, please? Yep.
Actually,
right, cool.
Your first response was ew.
It was not ew. Don't lie. Look, Natalie, she's lying. She is a liar.
You got the replay of that video where I commented?
I might actually. It's probably somewhere in there. I might have said that.
I said GRC, specifically PCI DSS. And he was like,
oh, no. Ooh was for PCI DSS.
Okay.
Not for GRC. PCI DSS I despise.
Okay.
GRC is great, but PCI DSS can get bet. Fuck that. Natalie, she just called you out, bro. I corrected her. It was not, she knew the comment. I responded to PCI DSS, not GRC. I love my GRC.
I stand corrected.
Not GRC, I said ooh to. It was PCI DSS. But yeah, I do. I love everything about cybersecurity. I love GRC. I think they have such a vital role in securing organizations. Natalie, I would agree with the PCI DSS being ooh. Thank you.
Natalie.
Thank you. I'm not the only one. Ha!
Thought you were on my side, Natalie.
All right. So we are at over the top of the hour. I do have one more question here that I want to answer for Kerry, just because he's always asking questions. I don't always get to them because, you know, as much as I love the guy, sometimes his questions get off topic of the show, but we're going to go with it anyways. Can you use Python for bug bounty? And what is a good way to learn incident detection, since I have some labs at SOC? Now, Akira, this is just for your information, since I know you haven't done this. Python, depending on the bug bounty, you may or may not be able to use. Not all bug bounties like automation tools. So when you're using Python, it can get a little bit tricky because sometimes you're trying to automate certain things. And if it's going to send a lot of requests all at the same time, they tend to frown upon that. But that's not to say you can't do it, just that it can't necessarily be automated and going to bring down a system. So for the next one, what is a good way to learn incident detection, since I have some labs with SOC? Detection Lab. Kid you not. Detection Lab. Look it up. Detection Lab is a system that will actually fill in a lot of information, stand up its own. I want to say it's a SIM. Might be something different. But it basically puts a bunch of incidents into a system and allows you to go through and tell the story and kind of figure out how everything went. So that's the best way to learn incident detection, on top of doing your own research on how to tell a story with malware and things of that nature. So hopefully that helps, Kerry, because I know you're trying to learn a lot. You're doing a ton. I will make one suggestion to you, homie. Try to start focusing down and pinpointing where you really want to go, because you're trying to do a ton of different things, and your questioners are always amazing, but you need to focus what route you want to go to. Let's see. Natalie, I am girl. I am. Trust me. I love her. Let's see.
Awesome.
Brad Proctor, 1 in OO, RMF, 853 high, EMAS, Stigs. Oh, no. Hold up. No, you said Stigs. You are now off my screen. No, we are not talking Stigs on this show.
I'm lost.
It is a military thing. Government computers use Stigs. That's how they secure their systems. You have to follow a Stig literally to the T. It used to be GPOs. I don't know what they do these days. But yeah, Stigs are your compliance in the government. And it's literally just setting up all your security stuff. And I absolutely despise them, because there are about 1,000 different things that you need to change to make a computer compliant and secure. So Stigs, get bent. I absolutely hate them. Natalie, the reason acronyms exist within cybersecurity is because cyber actually came from the military, and we all know the military loves their acronyms and love to come up with a bunch of different random ass acronyms. Oh, it's so bad. Now, saying that, we are well past the top of the hour. We are at 8:06 according to my time. Akira, we always do some last words from our guests, and honestly, I'm gonna just start calling y'all motherfuckers co-hosts, because y'all need to tell me to shut the fuck up. I talk too much sometimes. So Akira, give us some final words before I give my final words. For anybody trying to break in, anybody trying to do what they do, what you got?
I would just say, be teachable, be coachable. You know, always remain a student. Learn, be active, network. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what's been helping me. Remain coachable, stay a student, and network. Talk to people. Get out your comfort zone. You'll meet some amazing people.
Come on,
like I did with Cyber Warriors. Came on here and connected to everyone. That's because he called me out when I commented.
Damn straight I did.
He said, "Who are you? I've never seen you on here before."
You were brand fucking new. I don't even remember what show that was. But yeah, I did call you out. I was like, hold up,
It
Akira's
did.
here?
I
Who
was like
you, homie? I got you.
I was like, "Oh,
You
no."
are coming on.
Yeah, he
Speaking of which,
snagged me
there's
up.
one more here. Who's the other guy? Hold up. I'm sorry, homie. I already forgot your name. I got to look through my comments and find you. Nigel was another one I called out because I had to get him on. Where's this guy at? Now I got to go like back to the beginning and find him. And I've probably passed him up. Mary Baker, I think, has been on. I think Mary's been on. She hasn't said much since the beginning. Octavius, you need to look me up on LinkedIn and you need to come on the show because you're new. You're a new warrior and I need to get you on here. All my new warriors have to come on the show. That's just the rule of thumb. Like, I'm sorry. I will not let you rest until you come on. It's just the way it is. But yeah, networking is key.
Sorry. Thank you, Alana.
Alana's awesome. I love her.
She is. She was dropping major gems in the comments.
She was. So legitimately, look, from everybody here, I say everybody, but look, from me here, the Cyber Warrior at CyberWarriorStudios and here on Security Happy Hour. Look, I love you all. You're all amazing people. If you're not following me on YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, name it, I'm there. I'm always dropping motivation and security shit. Well, mostly motivation, but security shit you'll get here on YouTube. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If you have not commented or if you're just in chat, please, after this episode is over, come back in, drop some comments, share the episode, let people know where to find the best warriors in cybersecurity, because that's always going to be right here on CyberWarriorStudios and Security Happy Hour. Now, otherwise, I love you all. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you all next week for another amazing episode of Security Happy Hour.